Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the shed. Here we are again. Another Sunday. Ooh, what have we got today? Right, a bumper edition. Two new acquisitions. A two bill, Hornby two bill, and a Hornby two Hal. That's the bill. And I'll show you when you come round. Hello, John. Nice to see you. Mystic John. Good morning. Yes, it is for you. It's afternoon here. 5 minutes to one. I'm a little early, but who knew? Yes, right. This is the two bill. There. So called because it's by lavatory. Two lavatories on it. Whereas this one coming around in a second, which is the two Hal, only has a half lavatory. So it's one lavatory on that. You can see by the white window. So the one with two white windows is the bi lavatory, two lavs. And why is it when it comes to British stuff, it's always toilets? Well, there you go. Yeah, sorry about that, John. It's a UK thing. Toilet jokes and toilets. So we're obsessed with toilets. I don't know what it is. But still, once we're in motion, we're fine. Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's more arriving. That's posh. Delph. Oh, hello. Now, Delph's Peter, right? It's got to be Peter. Delph Junction is definitely Peter. Just give me an affirmative there. Yes, it is. Right. Okay. Ben, you all know. Mystic John. Yes. A stalwart of the channel. And Mick of formerly Edgeley Park Station. Now it's Mick 92. He's not really that old. But how comes it's 92, Mick? And there's Kyle Stevens. Hello, Kyle. Yeah. Yes. Sorry to drag toilets into it so early on a Sunday morning for our American and Canadian cousins and our Australian cousins. Hello, Artie. Yeah. Artie, you'd probably know what these are. A couple of EMUs, not EMUs, EMUs, electric multiple units. One of them is a single lavatory, two Hal, which is that one. You can tell by the one white window, just going past it. Yeah. And the other one coming around is a two bill, which is a two lavatory train, multiple unit. So there's two white windows. You can just see it. Just going past it. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm pointing. Terrible habit. If you can't see it, well, there it is. Valleys. That means Chris is in. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you. Yeah, a two Hal and a two bill. Loo windows are white too when shut. Yeah. Well, you've got to have a bit of privacy, haven't you, while you're doing your ablutions. Yes, these I bought from a guy who is well known in the model railway, in our little model railway world, as Captain Static, and that's Mark. Mark's more of a steam guy, so he was looking to thin out his, I think it's his father's trains. You know, his father unfortunately passed away, and obviously left him and his brother these trains, and steam's more Mark's kind of thing. So he very kindly offered to sell them to me. So I bought them at a fair price. Not too expensive, not too cheap, but they've been looked after. They've been on his father's layout since day one. All I had to do is a little wheel cleaning and add a little bit of oil here and there, and they're absolutely pristine in their boxes. Excellent deal, I thought, because when these first came out, it was in a strange. Speak of the devil. Hello, Mark. I've got the 2 Hal and the 2 Bill running, as you'll see them behind me. I'll give you obviously a close up later. But Hornby had a bit of a strange time of it when they were making these. There's the 2 Bill with the double toilet, and there's the 2 Hal with the single toilet. I had to actually look it up on Wikipedia on the tippy tappy, as Lord Al would say, to find out what the difference was between the 2 Hal and the 2 Bill, because they look on the outside very similar. They work in a similar way, similar kind of seating, like corridors with compartments. Smallwood, hello, Paul. So I bought these from Mark, and when Hornby made these, they were in the sort of work smart type of thing, and which means they didn't put lights in them, and they got them out. They weren't very expensive, but the detail on them is fantastic, as Mark would tell you. And like I say, they were on his father's layout, and Mark's more of a steam guy, so I bought the 2 Hal and the 2 Bill from Mark. I'm very happy with them. As you can see, they run immaculately and they look great. And really, that's what you want from your model trains. As long as they run reliably, what more can you ask for? And they look superb. Okay, they haven't the refinement of some of the later Hornby things that they did. I think the 4 Vep was a bit of a strange one because that needed traction tyres. These don't have traction tyres. Obviously, they're only a two-car unit. So, yeah, they look pretty good. The detail on them is very good. They did a bang-up job on the paint. This is, for those of you who know, there's Anthony Dodge. Hello. The model train outsider, the Mechlin outsider. Nice to see you. Depending on the era, like here. Well, these are early British Rail. So these units were made something like 1934, around there. And obviously they went through different inside decor iterations. But these are in malachite green, which is, I like it. It's quite a vibrant green colour, rather than their rather dull olive green that they had before that hitherto. I like this green better, and the more years go past, the more it grows on me. It's very difficult to match up engines and rolling stock, because the shade of malachite green, they can never match it, and it's the same with the manufacturers. Bachmann, Hornby, they've all got different versions of malachite green, and the different factories have slightly different shades. It may well have been like that in the real world, with different depots having their own paint. But yeah, I call it malachite green, because it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody likes it, but it grows on you. In years when things were pretty depressing, like the 50s, to have like a vibrant green like that running on your railways must have lifted the spirits a little. If you hear any strange noises, Richard outside doing a bit of gardening. Don't like gardening. The only time I've got green fingers is when they go up my nose, said my mother. So yeah, I just got, yeah, that's it. Anyway, today's drink of choice, ladies and gentlemen, is strange enough for me, cider. Not really heavyweight. What would you call it? Scrumpy, cloudy, very powerful cider. This will not take your legs away from underneath you, Mick. This is quite, it's dry in a sweet kind of way. Cheers. Not very sharp. It's got quite a fruity taste to it. I'm getting pencils. I'm getting right on your tits, aren't I? No. Yeah, quite a refreshing drink. Imagine having a beer and then imagine having a shandy, which is beer with lemonade put in it. It's like that. It's like a weak version of beer. And it is. Bit of shameless advertising. Woodpecker cider, made by H.P. Bulmer. But its popularity has plummeted over the years. In the 70s, it was everywhere. You could see it just about anywhere you cared to walk into a buffet or a store. But it's fallen from grace. Yeah, exactly. Ben, you haven't seen it in years. It's still out there. Yes, they still make it. I think it's more popular in this railway shed High Dino. I think it's more popular in the northeast, strangely enough. So what I was going to do, I was going to get hold of Craig up at New Durham Junction and see if he could Shanghai any from the local stores. But found it online. I had to get 24 cans of it. But I'll drink it. And it's 3.5% by volume. So it's not much stronger than Shandy. But it's quite refreshing. I like it because it's sweeter than most. So there you go. I did see turn to Strongbow. I wasn't a fan of the sweetness of the woodpecker. Yeah, there you go. But I preferred the more sweet than dry. And it's like a very weak cider. And because of that, there's Sean. Hello, Sean. Sorry, guys, phone flatlined. It's on life support now. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, Sean. You must have a little PC around there somewhere. Maybe not. We have Woodpecker Hobby Shop here and deals with British trains too. Laugh me arse off. Yeah. What's in her name? But there was a. Let me just go back in the comments a bit because there was a little bit about. Where is it? There are the 6-axle passenger cars. Some had ladies' toilets and powder rooms. We took up 2 compartments. Yeah, that sounds about right. People say, we didn't get their shade of green the same. Well, same in the real ones, never the same. Yeah. It's obviously noticeable when you're in an environment like this where you're doing a model railroad, and you put the rolling stock out, and there's such a stark difference between the locomotive and the rolling stock. And one is definitely a lot more shiny or matte than the other, and the shade of green is completely different no matter what light you put it in. And it seems that the locomotives are always a bolder green than the rolling stock, which seems a little dowdy. I don't know why that is. Who knows? Can anybody tell me? No. Certainly not Hornby. If they made a mistake, they certainly wouldn't admit it. Bachmann are guilty to a lesser extent because I think they use less factories for their products. So there's not so much hit and miss. And they tend to be a little more professional, particularly in their demeanour. Don't think they outwardly try and rip other people off, particularly for things like copyright. What am I saying? But there you go. I've never had any trouble from Bachmann. I sent them an engine once and said, look, this was a present that I got, albeit less than a year ago. I can't find the bill for it, or as it was a present, I didn't have a bill. And they fixed it for me and sent it back to me free of charge. That's Bachmann. That was my experience with Bachmann. Other people's might be different, particularly as Graham Fulson just recently, after all the trouble he had with his Acura scale Deltic and 92, it turned out that it was only the back EMF settings. On the Deltic, I think it was a bit more than that, because obviously there was a motor problem as well. But as a little goodwill came into it, Richard Watson said to him, how would you like a Class 37? Yes, he's got a big channel, but it was just a really nice gesture. And that's the way I took it, because I don't have an axe to grind. Bachmann did me quite well. So if Acura Scale are giving customer service like that, good on them. Archie says, with our older passenger cars, Tucson and Indian red, there are different shades, all depending on which car shop or carriage works shop painted them up. Yeah, the same applied over here. And there's Charlie. Hello, Charlie. What's your favourite? Hornby, Bachmann, Acura Scale, Daypole? All of the above. Hornby have done some superb stuff. These are running really quite well. I don't know if you can hear the clickety-clack in the background. Let me just check that my noise reduction is turned off. I've got a microphone. Oops, I've just turned you down a bit. So you click on that. Noise reduction off. Good. Because at some stage, it put it back on again. It wasn't anything I was doing. I don't know if it did an upgrade or whatever. All of a sudden, the noise reduction was on, and all you could hear was my crummy voice. But there you go. T-shirt of today, No Limits, which I think was one of my son's sort of gaming shirts. So when he grew out of it, I got it. Yeah, I've been scratching my head over that one ever since. But then I'm fun size. Hang on. Did Andy just say something positive about Hornby? Hold on. I'm getting orders for heaters from a guy named Toby and Lucifer. Yes. Hornby, when they get it right, they get it spot on. Doesn't happen that often, because they'll do something silly in there somewhere, and it's up to the punter like me to spot it. So yeah, it'll be running around for a couple of months. You'll put it back in the box, get it out after a couple of years, and it's had Mazak rot and it's falling apart. But then that happened to River Rossi, it's happened to Lima, it's happened to Mahano, and loads of other people. Hornby's number one fan. No, I'm not actually, because obviously the way they handled themselves in the last year was blatantly perverse, and of course they've lost their head man now, Simon Kohler. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll just have to wait and see. But they've still got things in the pipeline that they've been promising for years and haven't come up with yet, like the new 4 VEP, which will be in southern colours and it will be in southwest colours, if that's your kind of thing. But it's a new improved mechanism. It needed improving because they had bloody traction tyres on it, where Bachmann don't seem to feel the need with their 4 CEP. Am I ranting? It's a rant. It's a rant. No, it's not really a rant. Heard he's back again. Well, okay. If he sticks to his core business, he should be good. It's all right. The doggies just joined me. Hello, Blondie. As long as she doesn't grab a saw or something. And oh dear, did you hear that? She wants to. Oh, she's just flopped down. That's it. Good girl. The old tail's going. Yeah. As long as he sticks to the core business and doesn't do anything silly, get a bit of precision back in it. If you're asking us to pay that kind of money, Montana has left Hornby as well. Okay. You're going to get that with companies. There's going to be people coming, people going. It's nice to have a bit of continuity, though. But have I had anything really bad from Bachmann? Quite frankly, no. I've had a few noisy ones from Bachmann, but they've always worked. And if you put your fingers in your ears, it was fine. They were perfectly smooth, but just something in the gear train made them noisy. And that does happen occasionally. Dapole, I haven't had any trouble with Dapole. I've got a Class 52, which those of you out there would know is a Western. That's always been faultless. Class 68. Class 68 in Shropshire and Wrexham colours in silver. That's really good. That's got a great mechanism, great details, great paint, superb. Acura scale, we haven't had any trouble with Acura scale products. Richard's got 55 and a 92.
I've got 255.
255s
and 292s.
292s.
I've got a 50, a 31 on pre-order, and an 89.
There's a 50, a 31 on pre-order, and an 89 coming. So, constructive, accurate criticism, yeah, maybe. That depends on the person. But yeah, we've got some more coming from Acura Scale. If they've given us shoddy products thus far, we wouldn't be buying any more. It's as simple as that. So obviously when Hornby come up with something new, we tend to either inspect it with a fine tooth comb as much as we can if it's just come out, or wait for every other Burke to look at it first and review it, and then we'll see whatever pitfalls there are. If it's, we've got a couple of bent contacts and it's not picking up properly, we could sort that one out. Other than that, no, I'd buy a Hornby if it looked like it was value for money. Yeah, no qualms. They've turned enough corners left and right down the long and stony path to come out of it again. So as long as they don't pull another Titfield Thunderbolt scam, it's fine. And all this beating the other competitors to the market, no, take your time. Don't rush the factories and rush it out, because that's when mistakes happen. Just say what you're going to do and then put it out all in good time. There's Andy T741. Hi, Andy. And Carl Stevens, there's Dino, there's Peter, Mick, and Colin's Engage. Hello, Colin. Nice to see you. Hope all is well with the container ship. Now, I haven't seen an update on that just recently. It looked like it was nearing completion. The weathering looked really good on it. It's a monster of a ship for Engage. So, yeah, there you have it. But no, I don't really have an axe to grind with Hornby. It's just that they can do some silly mistakes and rush things, and errors of judgment they ought to keep under control. You need someone just above Simon Kohler to pat him on the head and say, calm down, boy, calm down. Calm down, Derek, calm down. There is an update later today. Okay, Colin, yeah, I'll watch that. all manufacturers should focus on quality. I'm sure they have a QA department. Well, Charlie, you'd know about Rapido trains because they're Canadian. We've got lots of Rapido equipment, and it is expensive, and it is top quality. Like Benny Hill. Yeah. Yeah. That's it, yeah. Yes. Simon, don't do that. All right. Cheers, everybody. We'll put the glass down and the dog jumped. She's now got her eyes shut. Now, from the tiny little pup that she was, there's Dragon Lover Connie. You'd like this, Connie. And good afternoon, good morning. It is probably still very good morning to you. From the little pup that she was, she has now become that big. Flat out like a lizard. Yeah. She seems to be enjoying herself. Right, let's get you close to the action and you can actually see the two Hal and the two Bill. Here we go. Right, how's that? That's the two Hal. Oh dear. And not Benny Hill again. Yeah. Tap me for a visit. And here comes this is the two Bill on the outside. And there comes the two Hal. That's the two Hal. The difference between the two, the one on the outside track going left to right, is the two Bill. And it's so called because it's a two car by lavatory. So it's got two lavatories in it. And I'm really sorry that I'm talking about lavatories early in the morning. And the other one, the two Hal, is a half lavatory because it's only got one white window. You see that? Yeah, half lavatory. So, and there's Dwight Curley. Hello, Dwight. Rapido, can't afford them. Yeah, they are pricey. Rapido are pricey, but you get what you pay for. A bit like Bachmann. Here comes the two half lavatory. I'll slow them down a bit because they are a little bit speedy. And I can do that because the mechanism on these two Hornby electro multiple units is quite good. And there's Brian. I'm going to have to do this. This dates back to the days of Bernie's live streams. So we used to greet each other with full capital letters as a bit of a shout out, and it sort of stuck. So every time myself and Brian are in the stream, that's the way we'll greet each other. It's not a bad greeting actually because it greets you and shouts you out at the same time. A little bit of fun and a pleasant hangover from a great era that we had with Bernie, which was funny and it was it was a nice atmosphere. Rapido, Andy, can't afford them. Not so well as yourself. Well, it's just a matter of saving. And when they come out with something you actually want and it fits your scenario, fits your temperament, perhaps it has a bit of quirk. If it's quirky enough, we'll buy it. But money doesn't grow on trees. You have to save it and then spend it wisely. But yeah, they are expensive. So they don't come out with the same quantity that Hornby and Bachmann do. So you might get 2 models a year, and it shouldn't be beyond anybody's scope to save up a little bit here and there, and scrape together what would be value for money. Lee's back with a Sunday live stream at 5 today, and yeah, the Rapido wagons are great. A lot of them have really good brass bearings in them, so they run faultlessly. Yeah, really enjoy their wagons, and of course the decoration is done to a really high standard. And let us not forget that Richard just got the GT3. Now, I didn't expect that it was still on the layout, but it is actually here still. I won't run it because I haven't got permission. I've just got to wait for that to come up, Mark, a bit, because I've got a heart in the way. But yeah, Rapido stuff's good. KR Models stuff at the moment is a bit hit and miss. They're obviously a startup company. Trains Kits, hello, how are you? They run so freely. Yes, they do. And for me, that's one of the main things that must happen. Sam's Trains is a bit of a Marmite channel, but the reviews, I don't agree with everything he does in the reviews. It doesn't have to have brass bearings, but if you're going to use nylon bearings on steel pinpoints, they've got to work properly. When he does his little hillside prod and it runs down the hill and then stops somewhere halfway down because there's so much friction on the bearing, that's not good. If it runs to the bottom of the hill, it's a winner. And probably the best example of that I've got are the Thompson coaches we got from Bachmann. They're in a sort of faux teak colour because the real thing had steel bodies and they painted them to look like wood, to look like teak. So they matched up with the existing rolling stock. And I don't know how Bachmann did the wheel bearings on those, but they run absolutely faultlessly. They were really expensive, something like £60 odd a coach at the time. But we managed to scrape enough together to get a rake. And I was just so surprised. I thought our layout was flat. But any tiny hill, even if it's like 1 in 500, it would find it and start rolling. So you do a review and it would end up down the other end of the layout. Fabulous. And if you can get lots of wagons like that, it doesn't matter how long a train you have, because the friction's going to be not going to be negligible, but you could probably put 30, 40 wagons and a tank engine and pull it, which would be great. Got one from the toy fair. Sounds like a bag of bolts. Yeah, some of the old train ones do sound like a bag of bolts, but they sounded like that anyway. You could do something like Mr. Snooze has done and use ball races and things on the motors, but it's only limited because you've still got the gearing to contend with. And if that's what's making the noise, it's not going to limit it that much. Yeah, but thank you very much, Mark. These are superb. Yeah. Yeah, I think Richard's got one of those. Is it an LNER? What's it called? What was Toby from the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff? It was a J92, something like that. J70. I heard in the background. Yeah, the J70. Richard got one of those, which was by Rapido. It's a tiny little thing, but the detail they put on it and the mechanism they put on it was just superb. So that might be worth running that. I'll ask permission, of course. Yeah, Toby the Tram engine. They did ones with skirts and they did ones without. So there you go. At the same issue here too, wanted to find a bank and then hope they've got some cash in it. Yeah, well, banks are becoming a thing of the past because they're shutting them down all over the place. Yeah, not good. Anyway, those of you who don't know Dragon Lover 68, which is Connie, a very talented lady who does lots of modelling. She usually does her live stream today. Used to do it alongside Lee. I'm not sure what happened there, but that's none of my business. Yeah, very talented. Does a great live stream, as does Lee. And if you want to pop in there and support her, yeah, I'm sure she'd be happy to see you. Yeah, Thomas characters. Well, I could announce it now. I'm probably going to do a Percy special at some stage. If I lose a few subscribers over it, well, ho hum. Who's counting? But yeah, Ben cut his finger on that one. That he did it for a very noble reason. He got a Thomas the Tank Engine and Annie and Clarabelle set from Bachmann, put in a DCC chip, and the reason behind that was there's Lord Peter Webster. Hello, Peter. The reason behind it was that Ben's got a nephew, and if we can get him involved, there's your next generation. Which, yeah, it's brilliant. That's a great thing to do, Ben, and you will be slapped on the back for that. I just wish you'd been a little more upfront about it, because I thought, oh no, Thomas, no. But then I put LOL after it. But yeah, it's great, and I can scrape together some Percy and some trucks, and we'll have a bit of fun. Yeah, very much so, Mark. They're very enjoyable. Oh, no doubt about it. I might do. I might add some lights here and there into them, and maybe some sounds. I mean, they're DCC ready, so probably 8-pin chip in there. Yeah, I could make the 2 bill and the 2 howl into sound. There's a number of things I could do, but for the moment, I'm just enjoying them on plain old DC, which is what they were designed for, and I think they look great. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. That is a great rendition of the 2 bill. 2 howl, sorry. Half lavatory. Here comes the 2 bill. What I'll do, I'll swing the camera around in a minute so you get a better version of better view of the nose of that. And hello, Gary. Nice to see you. That's Leicester Station TMD, for those that don't know Gary. So there you go. Let's just pop the camera around a bit without stepping on old Blondie. All right, here we go. Just need a little more play. How's that? There we go. That's what the front of the 2 bill looks like. It's still in a little bit of shade because it's trying to get brighter outside. Archie says, Way too many people way up themselves and no longer know how to have fun and have a great time. Yeah, that's true. When it starts to get that serious, you've got to ask yourself some questions. What you're looking at is that tornado straight in front of you. I can't blooming see. Let me get my magnifying glass. Yes, tornado. Trouble is, they've done the paint on it light blue, and they've put a silver writing on it, and I just can't see one from the other with the naked eye with glasses. Yeah, I'm surprised I don't get more flicker from the mix between artificial light and natural light. It's never really been a feature. Only if I point the camera straight at the light will you see a 50 hertz flicker. Yeah, it's a bit of light-hearted fun. Life's too short to get bent out of shape over Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ben. Oh, cheers, everybody. Yeah, for those just coming in, like Gary, we're running a Hornby 2 Howl and a 2 Bill today. These are newly acquired from Captain Static, who you would know as Mark, or otherwise Stanover Model Railway. Check out his channel if you haven't already. But most of the guys here, I wouldn't say you're all hardcore, but obviously we go onto each other's channels, so we've become more of a knot than a hardcore. But we know who we are and what we like. So yeah, I suppose birds of a feather flock together. So anyway, coming at you is the 2 Bill with the double lavatory, 2 white windows. And coming into shop now is the 2 Howl, which is the half lavatory, 1 white window. So yeah, there was probably quite a queue for the toilets in that one. Sorry to keep mentioning the toilets, but it's the real thing's fault. Yeah, rivet counters. Yeah. Oh, Lord Al's in the house. Hello, Alan. How nice to see you. And Ian Fraser. Hello, Ian. 2 Howl and the 2 Bill today. And there's the tornado right in front of you. Actually, there's a little bit of interference between a little bit of shade as the trains go past. I've noticed that. And obviously the camera adjusts a little bit. I hope that's not too annoying for you. Otherwise, I will move it again. He's having a crapper of a time showing off his mobile crappers. Yeah. The Thomas Crapper. Yeah, I'm just surprised, Artie, when I looked at the designation 2 Bill and 2 Howl and found out what it actually stood for. So just say when you look around YouTube, see different people following different channels. It's true. It's true. So I'll put stuff out that will garner criticism, that kind of stuff. The rest of the stuff, yeah, some of the criticism is just stupid. Well, it is, yeah. If you don't like it, turn it off. Isn't that the age-old rule? 2 lords in the house. Yeah. Cleaning the shed at the moment. Something for the next film. Oh, I can't wait to see that, Al. Oh, dear. It's just so funny when I was watching Alan's video and there's all this noise in the background and I thought, he must have the kettle on. Because it sounded just like a kettle being boiled, you know, when it chugs away. And I thought, that was taking an awfully long time to boil. And then I'd realised, because I couldn't actually see any rain falling, it was actually the rain on the roof. What a prat. Oh, got free with the TV, yeah. There's nothing worth watching on the TV, Artie. On a partridge somewhere, yeah. Oh, the prince. Birds in the rain. Yeah, I didn't hear the birds. I really didn't. But, Peter's one to watch for that. What's Peter's channel called? What did he call it now? Peter Dixon, I'm talking about. And he gets these parakeets in his back garden. And they make a god awful squawk, they do. Mondays and Tuesdays not too bad. This is really not that much sport on the TV anymore. I mean, obviously you've got Wimbledon and the Tour de France at the moment. The rest of it is all on different things like Sky Sport and rubbish like that. Torridon Road, that's it. Thanks, Mick. Torridon Road. How's everyone doing? Yeah, doing okay. It's just barely t-shirt weather up here at the moment, Gary. Or I should say down here. As you can see outside, the wind seems to have abated now, but it was chucking along at 30, 40 miles an hour this morning, rattling everything around. I've been quite quiet lately with the gains of train. Let's have a load of wheat. Oh, right, okay. Parakeets. They started in London when a couple escaped from a cage somewhere. Well, obviously they like the weather then, because they've been multiplying like crazy. Ashes cricket was on. Yeah, but that's confined to certain pay-per-view channels. Artie, it's not on like what you would class as Freeview here. Oh, the bill is up to 200 quid now, and it's not fixed now. Alan, if you don't know, he's talking about his car, his Fiat. Yeah, I think there was a bit of exhaust trouble this time. Is that right, Al? Got orange skies coming in. Canadian fire smoke is drifting down. They've still got fires in Canada. My God. Yeah. Alan's got exhaust problems now. And it sounds like it's torturous working on that Fiat engine. Yeah, they broke back out. Oh my God. Gets caught in a big circle, yeah. I'm surprised there's anything left to burn, really. Andy Dobson. Hi, Andy. Yeah, stands of green parakeets around where I'm in Surrey. Really? Oh, I'm surprised about that one. Saw a toilet cleaning truck catch fire under a Boeing 777, a Dreamliner, on Wednesday in Toronto. Crumbs. I bet there was shite everywhere. La Palma is on fire now. Was that a typo there, Alan? Did you mean to say La Palma? Wildfires. Yeah, well, with Greece and Italy in 40 to 50 degrees of heat, the merest spark down there, or a thunderstorm, or a carelessly discarded cigarette, that's all it'll take, and you'll have a huge fire on your hands. Las Palmas. Okay, Mick. You need to
prune the bottle brush tree out the front so to attract more rainbow lorikeets. Ooh. As long as Kookaburra doesn't sit in Artie's tree. Ah, there's Lee. Hello, Lee. And the one and only Andy Dobson. As you can see, the two Hal and the two Bill are quite happily tickling around the layout, which they've done for the last hour now. And they're running as good as the first second I put them on. I gather there might be another tutorial on static grass, Mark, coming up. Train exhibition in Llandudno next weekend. Are you going out? Because if you do, there's a couple of items, if you could be so kind as to have a look for me, that I'd like to get my hands on. I don't particularly fancy paying eBay prices. If the car's fixed, oh, okay. What I was after was about 3 N-gauge 1950s maroon Mark 1s. Like two opens and a brake end. So if you can get anything like that, that'd be great. The reason I wanted them was for Hi Fosen over in Holland, who's looking for some Mark 1s for his Class 86, and I said I'd have a look around. I just haven't managed to get to a decent show yet. We used to have one at fairly local at Stevenage, but I haven't seen it on since before the pandemic. RGJ Trains is live. How dare you? That's Rob and Grace. So if you fancy commuting across to Rob and Grace, that's fine. I'll be on for another 10 minutes. So if you want to pop across to Rob and Grace's, feel free to do so. I completely understand. There's lots and lots of action on YouTube. And feel free to commute across as you wish. It's nice to see you, Hi. As you could hear, I'm still looking on your behalf for some rolling stock for your Class 86. What have I got running, Andy? Okay, coming just in the picture now. That's the 2 Hal. So cool because it's a 2-unit half lavatory, and here comes a 2 Bill by lavatory because it's got two white windows which denote 2 lavs. Oh, Colin's off. Okay, see you soon, Colin. I'll be looking out for your video. Yeah, Andy, I bought them from Mark at Stanover Model Railway. Mark's more into steam and steam era than the more, you could say modern stuff like electric multiple units like these. And he said, look, if you're interested, we'll talk numbers later. So we did, and I bought them, and here they are. And yeah, they're in pristine condition. Mark's father looked after them really well, and I'm really pleased with them. So thanks, Mark. Yeah, Andy T's got his head screwed on. Yeah, fire up the other laptop. That's it. Yeah, as soon as I'm clear, I'll be piling across. and take a look. I don't know if Dave Swindon is on today because I didn't see any notation of Dave Swindon Junction coming up. So we'll have to have a look at that. Okay, Charlie, thanks for coming. Always appreciated. Take care, mate. So, Ben, am I right in saying that Thomas has hit the buffers, or are you going to just throw caution to the wind and give him a few more spins around the layout? Oh, okay, Mark. Yeah, wasn't it Robin Grace who did a sort of like a poll? And they said, look, if you want to have Mark do more static grass tuitions, yeah, and it was unanimous. But, you know, the choice is yours, Mark. Yeah, it's difficult. There are quite a dearth of channels who do live streams. Strange, really, because it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. Because you've got to be able to talk at length for some time, have some action going in the background so people don't get utterly bored. And it's difficult to do all the disciplines. Obviously, Anthony does it with spades because there's 10 cameras, and Anthony's a raconteur with language and history, and he'll himself tell you trains to a degree. But Anthony's very good at it, so we all pile in there and we have a wonderful time. Yeah, I think enough people know that you're on a Friday night at 8:30 our time, Anthony. So I don't think anybody would knowingly get in the way. You'll be making appearances for sure. Got much more support than negativity, to be fair, and I just think it's cool and harmless fun. It is, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. And I will do a Percy special. Probably in the form of a video, but yeah, I'm sure we can ham it up and have a bit of fun with it. Now, from what I understand, we've got a Thomas, an Annie, a Clarabelle, a Percy, which came in a set, and there's also a Toby around somewhere. So if I can find all three and dig them out and make sure they work okay, yeah, I'll have a Thomas fest. I don't care. Yeah, it's Robin Grace, yeah, trying to help me out. I'm still a bit disheartened with the lack of views on my videos and what to do at the moment. You could always try a few shorts, Mark. You only have to keep things moving for a minute, and it's fine. I put a little video on. It wasn't what I'd class as a short. I called it a short myself because it was only a minute long, and it was 4 times around with the HST, and it got something like 500 views. And that was only a few weeks ago. So, Andy, did you see Danny's film? Which one? Did a fab job. Yeah, I watched quite a few of Danny's. I can't remember what the last one was though. Susanna, yeah, I did see. I didn't see all of it because something got in the way, but I saw the majority, and he was obviously over the moon. And Susanna's got a great layout. But yeah, Danny's a great guy. Really happy-go-lucky chap. And obviously he's ably supported by his son, which does help. And I think his son's young enough, old enough to appreciate what Danny's doing. And yeah, all good. Stick with it, mate. You'll get there. Keep posting. You have a great channel. Yeah, I'd second that, Dino. I don't think there is any kind of magic formula to YouTube. What some people watch, others don't, and who's to say what's going to be popular? You just don't know until you try it. So if you try enough things, stick to what works. Yeah, Ivor Junction, Danny. Yeah, he's a good bloke, old Danny. I think he works in the railway industry, and that's obviously rubbed off on him. Yeah, live streams are popular. Also, the shorts seem to be, in my case, they seem to be popular. The shorter I do it, the more views you get of people watching the whole length. So you put a 10-minute video on, people might only watch the start and the finish of it and then skip the bit in the middle. But if you do a short, people have enough attention span generally to watch the lot. Dave Swindon Junction is live, so I'm going to call it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for your company. Let me just pop you back on terra firma. There we are. Whoa. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Well, I have a guitar channel as well, but my train channel does better. Okay, what's your guitar channel called? Hi, you don't have to put the whole bit in because you probably can't. If you can just write it in the chat there, we should be able to find it then. If it's Hi's guitar channel, yeah, we should be able to find that. But I did look and I couldn't find it. So if you can give us a few clues, we'll have a look. Thanks, Artie. Yeah, I enjoyed your stream last night. It was great. Cheers, Brian. How you doing, Hi? Here we go. Oh, it's still got that irritating heart right down there. Defoe's Guitars. Fab. I'll take a look. Thanks, Hi. I'll catch up with you all next week. I'll see you in the streams. Pop out a few videos if I can find the time. Might do a Thomas special. So that'll be a bit of a laugh. And thanks everybody for coming. Cheers, Chris, Andy T. And I'll catch up with you all next Sunday, if not before. So, Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains, everybody.